We podcast about a lot of different things here at About Beverages, from, like I said, wine to water to sodas to beer, all those things. Whiskey is probably one of the ones, kind of the larger whiskey category, E or no E. Kind of is one of the things that we gravitate toward the most, that we do enjoy quite a bit. Besides beer, those are probably the two that compete. At least for a long time, we used to joke about that we should be called About Beer-bridges. About Beer-bridges.
Correct.
But one of our favorite things in any podcast form, whether it is whiskey like the one we're about to have, is when not only are we recommended one that we should try, but we were actually given a bottle.
That's even better.
To try.
It already has a lot going for it.
It does.
Then.
It does. And then there's also a lot of pressure. For the giver, there's a lot of pressure because they're like, oh, I hope this is good. Oh, you should try this one. Because then it's like, if we don't like it, or if there's something, there's a lot of options there. So thankfully, like I said, someone was kind enough. They sent us a bottle of a bourbon specifically for us to try for this Give It a Shot. I'm Andrew.
And I'm Keith. And we are AboutBeverages.com. And the beverage that we're about today is the Dragon's Milk Origin Small Batch Bourbon Whiskey.
Yes. So the short version of this is a good friend of the show and friend, Cope, who's always here hanging out in chat and being super supportive. And we've done a couple different crossover things with him before. Is someone that really enjoys a good aesthetic when it comes to a bottle of whiskey. That's usually what he kind of gravitates toward, but he has been very lucky with all of those aesthetic choices, that they have been excellent bottles. This was another one that obviously is pretty good looking. He went and bought it. He bought one for himself, and he said, you know what, I'm going to send you a bottle too. We're both going to try it, which I already have. So full disclosure, I have actually already tried this with him. We did a little co-stream together. His link will be down here below on YouTube if you want to go check him out. He is super, super nice and on Twitch.
The Bourbon Buckaroos.
The Bourbon Buckaroos is what we call ourselves. We go hang out in Little Red Dead Redemption and hang out in his bar, and we just have good conversation like we do here. But I wanted you, who I like said, sometimes when you have you try something with someone, we've talked about the experience of that can sometimes maybe cloud your judgment a little bit. You're like, oh, was this really as good as it was? It influences a little bit. You try it again later and you're like, well, this was good. Was it really as good as I thought it was? So you're kind of the impartial, judge here of this one. Like I said, take no worry about that. Like, if you don't like it, then you're going to make Cope feel super sad.
Oh gosh, I wouldn't want to make
don't want to do that, because then he won't send us anything
else.
Super sad. Yeah, exactly.
Because you actually had this one then in the company of the giver.
I did, which is a shirt
in the virtual company.
Exclamation point merch here for About Beverages. Yes, in the company of the giver is a shirt that we actually have. Virtual giver specifically. This bottle is super amazing. If you do actually find it, it like literally is like dragon scales on it. The short version of this is like, this was originally a stout of some sort. Like it was so it's New Holland Brewing.
New Holland Brewery does, they do some different stout.
They do a barrel-aged version of a imperial stout called Dragon's Milk.
Yep.
They do a regular one too, but they do a barrel-aged version. So they basically worked backwards, because they're like, okay, well, we've done that. Let's actually start distilling and start actually making whiskey and bourbon ourselves. They've got a couple different versions of this. This is the one we have. This is the small batch, and we're gonna try this one right now. We're gonna start giving this a pour. You've seen the bottle now for a few weeks, because I've had it. We were having to kind of work out like when we were actually going to try some.
Yep.
But yeah, it's kind of amazing. Like I said, the whole glass of it and just how it's put together. This one does run. Do you want to know the price now? Have you looked at the price?
I have not looked at the price.
Okay, so do you want to keep that a secret?
Yeah, I'd like to keep that a secret.
Okay, Keith wants to keep it a secret. Totally fair.
So if you're here in chat, don't let me know.
Yeah, don't say anything. Yeah, exactly. If you're here live on our Thursday show, don't say anything. Color I actually thought was slightly darker than some that we have had, at least as of late. Like I said, still in the honey range, but it was like a little
more coppery, a little more red, a little more brown.
Yeah, a little more. Exactly. A little more copper and red. To the aroma?
Absolutely. Buttery caramel. I know caramel is butter, but even more butter.
Yeah.
And some fruit at the end. And I don't usually get fruit. There's like a little something sweet, like a sweet fruit note at the end.
Yeah, like so this is interesting to me, because now this bottle has been open for almost a week.
Yep.
When we first had it, I I commented that it was just it was very general bourbon smell. It was not like over the top kind of anything. I'm actually getting more now than I had that first day. And I would agree with you 100%. It's kind of, and when I think of buttery caramel, I think of almost like popcorn that has caramel.
Yes.
Like that's kind of where I go when you're saying
Kettle
that.
corn,
So,
I guess.
So yeah, it's that. There is a little bit of fruit. So there's something I want to say, but I think it'll lead you in the taste. So I don't want to say it, which I know sounds super weird. We don't normally do this. I've had this a few times now, so now it's like maybe I'm picking it up because I want to know that it's there kind of thing. So I don't want to say that, but I agree with the other things you said with one other thing, and let's taste it and then
that'll be a surprise. All right,
there we
I
go.
like it.
All right, to the taste.
I don't get any of the fruit.
Okay.
I still get a little of the butter. I get a little cinnamon, and I almost think I get some mint.
Oh, interesting.
A little like a nice
sure. Mint does not have to be a negative.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out. So maybe whenever you share this with me, I'll be like, "That's it." But I don't know. Right now, that's it. It is. It's balanced very well. I don't know what the alcohol is on this, but
95 proof.
Okay, all right, a little heat, not too bad.
So for us, like I said, it definitely the finish I think is super smooth. The spiciness is on the front of the tongue, which I still get every time I have that. That kind of comes back forward. I still get in the caramel. I'm getting a little oak. I get a little bit of smoke still, like a very tiny bit. I did not get mint, but the thing that I have noticed now a little more in the nose as it's been open, and I noticed it on the taste, is I actually get chocolate, like chocolate brownie. That there is actually that kind of like, because there's like a little sweetness like that, like almost like a semi-sweet or like a dark, like not quite dark chocolate because the fruit's not there. It's like more of like a semi-sweet or a milk chocolate kind of like that kind of thing.
Yeah,
is in the taste, and I get that every time now when I drink that. So it's like for me, the dominant flavors are caramel, that semi-sweet milk chocolate kind of blend, and then like I said, some oak are the three things I get. Little spice on the front of the tongue, and then like I said, then the finish. I thought when we first had it, the aroma to us, we were kind of like, it's okay, like it was good, but it wasn't like anything over the top. And then for me, the taste was really good. For me now, the aroma is actually getting even better and kind of starting to match up with what I thought the taste was. And I think it's very unique. It's not flavors for me that I usually get in a bourbon, that one specifically, but I don't know if,
especially like that.
I don't know if that necessarily helped you. Like I said, I didn't want to say in the aroma that I got chocolate because I'm getting that now because I didn't get that before and I didn't want to influence. I don't think it would. You're really good with that stuff, so I don't think it would have. But I didn't want to say it, and then you're like, I do get some chocolate.
No, it's always good to not, in that way.
On that one in particular. Right.
It's very. There is a little something there, and there is, like I said, it's like mint leaves. That sort of
more kind of like the natural mint, like when we used to make like herbal blends and stuff like that. Where
so it's not
herbal, gum mint. It's more like where you're getting some
not
of
mint candy, not that kind of thing. Just that.
The Basil Hayden's always kind of had that little bit of herbaceous,
that sort of thing. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, where you get a little bit of that.
That's what I get a little bit of that.
Do you get that on like more like
cinnamon
on the finish? Are you saying?
Yeah, it's more on the finish.
Okay. And cinnamon too. That's interesting.
A little bit of that spice is a little cinnamon.
It's very easy drinking, like I said, at that 95.
It is.
And
there's a lot to unpack there, I think. There's a lot going on. There's a lot to discover. Yeah. Sometimes when there's a lot, if it doesn't like form that cohesive sort of flavor, it can be like your palate is trying to chase down too many things.
Right.
But this is not. This is kind of like, oh, what am I? You're chasing down like one thing that like hands the baton off to the next thing, and then you're like,
that's a good way to put it, yeah.
And now it's that. Oh, now it's that. So yeah, that's good. I like it.
Now we didn't talk price earlier in the show.
No.
Like I said, you wanted me to hold that back. So like this is definitely one I will say up front that if I found another bottle of this, I would definitely buy another one. This is one I would like to have just because it is very different. I have a lot, there's a lot of things like, oh yeah, that one's good. That one's good. Well, these all kind of cover the same, amount of flavors. We all have that if you've like had a lot of whiskeys and bourbons. Like where I think this one is different, and for that reason. And like I said, the bottle is.
Should I guess, or should you just tell me?
No, you can guess.
Can I give you a range, or do you want me to give you an?
It's up to you.
55 to 60.
You're dead on.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like I said, depending on where you find it online. Like I said, I don't know. It looks like Total Wine does carry this as well. Very limited, selected areas. Okay. But you can actually order it from a few different places online, which is how, like I said, again, Cope shipped it to me. Which again, thank you so much for sending this to us. But yeah, it's right around $60. If you have to pay shipping, then obviously a little more after that. But yeah, I thought it was very unique, very interesting. It made me very excited because they also do a toasted version of this, which means like a charred barrel, which sounded really cool. And then also on top of that was the, I think they also have a like barrel strength or a cask strength kind of thing. So I would love to try that version of it. So whenever Cope is feeling up to it again and wants to send us another bottle at the barrel strength, he can just do so.
So I think now too, with that cinnamon, and now going back to the aroma and the taste, it's like cinnamon roll cinnamon, like because
also then that's the buttery and the brown sugar.
Yeah, it's not like Red Hots. It's not that. It's that, and then that little bit of sweetness, which you're saying is. Yeah,
that's what I got.
Like, so that's not a little bit. Yeah, that's more.
We did also do this.
More cinnamon roll.
Again, this is a more expensive bourbon than I would ever put into a cocktail for me, for my budget. Like I said, usually I'm, like I said, trying to find something in that $25 to $35 range.
Right.
Still want quality, a little higher proof, like a bottle and bond. We did this anyway because he wanted the science, so we did some science. I did an old fashioned with this. I thought it got a little lost in an old fashioned just because I think there's a lot of subtlety in this,
right.
which wonderful notes, but I think it kind of gets overtaken.
Right.
At least in the one we made, we went for the using orange bitters because we were both kind of picking up on the chocolate, like, oh, kind of chocolate orange thing that might be nice.
Yeah.
So it was still very good, but for me, the things that I loved about this kind of got lost. So
and you're not going to put that in a mixed drink at that price.
Not for me.
Yeah,
that is not for me. Like I said, once we hit the lottery, then we'll just be. I'll be bathing in this. Like I said, at some point. But again, I really liked it. It seems like you also.
I as well.
Yeah. All right. Good. That.
Thank you, Cope.
Cope is doing very well with the that bottle looks cool. I should try it.
Yeah, it doesn't always work out.
Which is usually what they tell you not to do, but it has worked out twice for us when it comes to some of these things. And we appreciate that. If you want to see any of the other whiskeys or scotches or bourbons or all those kind of things that we have ever done, and again, not just spirits, beers, waters, sodas, wine, all that stuff, go to our website, AboutBeverages.com. You can find everything there that we have ever done for over a decade. If you only want the latest videos, YouTube is the place to go. Hit the subscribe button. You will never miss out on the latest content there, whether it's some quick shorts and reviews, could be some gameplay stuff, and again, also our beverage reviews and the live show that we do. If you only want audio, that is also a solid option. Google Podcasts, iTunes, Spotify are all great places you can hit the subscribe button. If you have a favorite podcasting app, just search for About Beverages. Hopefully we're there. If we're not, let us know and we'll try and fix that and make it happen so we can make it easier for you to enjoy our stuff. And one of the places someone could let us know that we are or not in the place that they want us to be is on social media.
Social media.
Yeah, all the social media.
The three pillars.
Yeah, we've got three of them that we like, right?
You could find us on TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter, which is the one that we use most of all to keep you up to date on what is going on here at About Beverages. Like earlier this evening when I tweeted that we were about to go live on twitch.tv/AboutBeverages, which we do most Thursday evenings around 5:30 Pacific. It's when we get together. Try beverages. Have some fun, interact with chat, hang out, and just, like I said, enjoy the evening. So join us, won't you? Also, throughout the week, Andrew's going to keep you up to date on what's going on in the gaming world and what he will be enjoying as he is playing those games. So for all the latest at About Beverages, follow us on Twitter.
But, as we always say, whether we like it or not,
you should give it a shot.